Our testing session, we're going to be going through 3 areas. The first area we're going to be doing is preparing you for nutrition testing, and so there will be a set of steps that we will take to do that. Then we're going to be going through an important step called qualifying. We're going to make sure that you're in what we call a testable state. In other words, that you are responding appropriately to muscle testing, because sometimes people aren't, and it's a very important thing to find out. Now, if you aren't in a testable state, then we can make some adjustments to get you back into a testable state, okay? And then once you are in a testable state and you've qualified, then that gives us a green light go for testing, and we're going to be testing the benefit of the products, and then after that, we're going to be testing on the amounts of the products and the time of day testing as well, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, now that we've gone through this, what we're going to do, if this makes sense to you, is we are now going to schedule your nutrition testing session.
Okay.
Okay? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how it is that we do this. We make it real easy on you. And my first policy is that in this nutrition testing session that you're going to be spending $100 for, you will not pay 1 penny unless you are completely satisfied. Okay? And that is your judgment and your judgment alone. So my policy is that I will spend this time with you, going through the nutrition testing with you, and at the end of that session you can make a decision about whether it was valuable to you or not. And what I do also do is I take a $20 deposit at this time. And if at the nutrition testing session you find that this wasn't right for you, then I can simply refund your $20 deposit at that time. And if it was right for you, then you can simply pay me the balance at that time, okay?
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to schedule 2 hours for this session. Now, it only may take 60 to 90 minutes. But what I do want to do is make sure that we have enough time just in case we need to do a few adjustments and things of that nature. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, sometimes people will come in with a whole shopping cart full of products, okay? And I can tell you, if you've got a big bag full of products, that we're not going to get to all of them. But what we will do is we'll sort them into 6 manageable groups. And then what we'll do is we'll test the highest priority ones for you. So we may not get to all of your products. So in between now and our next session, if you do have a lot of products that you want to have tested, bring them all with you, and at that time go ahead and when we get together again, we'll kind of sort through them, and if we have a little bit of extra time to test some of the other products, then we can. Okay? All right. And so last, what I need to do is to set your appointment, and so we had already talked about this, and next Friday at 2 p.m. works for you, and I'm already prepared, and I have our appointment listed right here. And so what I'm going to give you is the reminders for your nutrition testing on this reminder postcard, okay? And so having said that, do you have any questions at this time about the testing, or any comments or anything of that nature? Oh, and there are a number of things that you need to do to prepare for them. You want to make sure you're well hydrated, have a portion of wholesome food to eat. Make sure you go through this list. Stay away from the martini at lunch too, okay? No alcohol before testing. And if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to call me, okay?
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay, any other questions or comments or anything like that?
I wanted to give my cat a supplement. Would you be able to test for my cat?
Yes, we can test for your cat, but let's do that at a later time. Let's not do that in the first appointment. And the way that we can do that is through what's known as surrogate or proxy testing, and we can do it right over the telephone too. And that is known as remote testing. And so we'll talk about that more in our next session. Be sure to bring it up. Okay, but first and foremost, let's go ahead and get you up and running, and then we can take care of your cat as well. Okay,
Great.
might have a hard time keeping that cat comfortable in my office here for an hour to test him on the supplement. So maybe we can just do that over the phone. But we'll talk more about that and explain the efficacy of that at that time. Okay?
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
great, James.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. And thank you very much, Jeannie. I look forward to working with you and having you as a client for life so that I can help guide you in achieving what it is that you want in regard to your health and vitality.
I did have another question.
Yeah.
There's some products I've seen on the shelf at the store,
Mm-hmm.
and they're quite expensive.
Mhm.
Is there any way I can find out before I buy them whether or not, or should I buy it and then bring it to the testing, and then if it doesn't work out, return it? How would you recommend?
Well, what I'd recommend is we can get into that at a later time, but I also have a couple of different formulations within those 6 groups. Okay?
Okay.
And so what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to test a couple of different formulations for the 6 groups. And I'll cover those 6 groups with you in our next testing session.
Okay.
Okay? And so we'll have plenty of products to test on. And of course, we want to make sure that you're not spending your money on stuff that your body doesn't really need.
Right.
And so let's get a sense of where it is that your body's cravings are, okay?
Okay.
And then,
I can hardly wait.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
thanks again. Okay, and we're taking a look at the screening appointment. Let me talk a little bit more about, yes, about why to avoid testing products or issues during the screening appointment. Now, you may have noticed we didn't test anything. We didn't test Skittles, chickpeas, almonds. All I did was give her a familiarity with the bar. And so I want to reiterate on a couple of these things. First of all, the person may not be in a testable state at this time, and they've been listening for about an hour, and so in that hour there's been a lot that's gone on with them. They've been really focused in paying attention, and so it isn't really a good time to be testing products because there's a good chance they might not be in a testable state. And if they're not in a testable state, I want you to consider this very important thing. They're not in a testable state and they test upside down or flat on the Skittles, chickpeas, and almonds, which are of course the qualifying substances, then what have you left them with as they walk out the door? You have left them with a contradictory and puzzling experience. Please consider that. Also, again, the awkwardness of their first time testing skews the accuracy anyway. So even if they were in a testable state, it may not show up because this was the first time they pulled on the bar. Remember, we're going to be going through the process again in the beginning of their next appointment and having them tune into that just right feel, and it will feel so much more natural to them the second time around. Also, consider this additional point. When the person leaves at this point, she left excited. And as she reflects on this over the next several days, it's going to be with a positive expectation. And you know enough about the power of the mind now to know that a person must have a positive expectation in order to get accuracy in their test results. In other words, they have to have faith and they have to have belief and they have to see it working. So we want to make sure the first time that they leave that they have that picture. They see it working. And so this is another reason not to test any products during the first session. Remember again, a steady pace is what wins the race, not trying to get the testing done in one session, okay? So, thank you again for listening. Listen to this a couple of times, and I wish you the best of success. I envision success for you in your screening appointments and you becoming very, very good at it. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.